What up, Greg?
Hello, welcome to today's episode of Juice in the Numbers. I'm your host, Joshua Tracy.
And I'm Corwin Heller.
And today we will be talking about some all-time World Series stuff as well as a little bit of baseball news. So you ready, Corwin?
I am ready.
All right, let's start with the small bit of baseball news that we have. Let's start on the high note that the Cubs have hired their new manager. They have hired David Ross to skip the team going forward. I forgot who he was. and you had to remind me because I just did not remember him as a human being. So what's your first impression of this hire?
It's kind of weird, like this was one of those things where it seemed like it just came out of nowhere. Like nobody was really expecting them to go with David Ross. Everyone kind of expected them to go with the bench coach from the Astros. I forget his name off the top of my head.
I heard that, and I heard Joe Girardi, which we can talk about in a second.
Right. I don't hate it. I mean, I'm a Pirates fan, so if this doesn't work out for the Cubs, fantastic. If it does work out, this is a fantastic story, and you can't really hate on that. I love David Ross as a person, all the publicity and storylines that were coming around when the Cubs were going on that World Series run. He just seems like such a great person and really loved to be a part of that team. Everyone on that team had really great things to say about him. And, hopefully it works out.
Yeah, this also continues the trend of catchers becoming managers in the MLB. There are so many former catchers that are managers in the MLB because catchers have to do a lot with the hitting staff and the pitching staff. So pretty common there. David Hess. I did it again. David Ross.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. I don't know why I'm saying Hess. He played for 15 years from 2002 to 2016. Any guess on how many teams?
6.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Damn.
Yeah, played for the Dodgers for 3.5 years. For 3 years. Then the Pittsburgh for half a season and San Diego for half a season. And then Cincinnati for 2.5 years before getting traded to Boston. Then Atlanta for 4 years, Boston for 2 more years, and then his last 2 years was Chicago, the Cubs.
Do you remember anything about him from any team other than the Cubs?
Not a single one.
Not at all. Yeah.
Not at all. And here's why, Corwin. Out of his 15-year career, he has amassed 521 hits, 106 home runs, 10.2 WAR.
That's not great.
And 2 World Series rings.
That's less than Mookie Betts last year in a 15-year career. Granted, no one's comparing, David Ross to Mookie Betts, but it's just funny how that works out.
Yeah, I'm so curious about what he's going to bring to the table that a Joe Maddon or a Joe Girardi wouldn't. I think he's, maybe youth is a factor here. He's 42, which is 24 full years younger than Joe Maddon, I believe. And got to be 10 years, maybe more than younger than Joe Girardi. So maybe there is like that youth clubhouse factor you were talking about, but I don't really know what else there could. It's tough to say with managers these days since the front office has so much say in what happens,
Mm-hmm. And it's weird. Like it's one of those parts of baseball where like baseball is still a relatively new sport to me. It's only been, a small handful of years that I've been following it. And I'm not really comfortable knowing the ins and outs of what it takes to be a manager and what makes a good one. Like in the NFL, I know what generally makes a good head coach, what makes a good offensive coordinator, whatnot, what makes someone a bad one. I have no idea for any of those factors for baseball. So it's really hard to say like whether or not this is going to work out or if he's a great candidate for it. All I can speak on is what people have said about him, and people say a lot of great things.
Yeah, it's It's just tough to say nowadays because again, like the front office has so much say in what happens on a baseball diamond. For instance, like if you take the front office aspect out of it, what does the manager do? He makes the lineups every day. He manages the bullpen and the bullpen usage. And he, handles in-game management decisions like how the infield should be aligned, how the batter should approach this at bat. Do you send a guy on 3-0 counts? Do you want to bunt here? You make those kind of choices. But again, because so much of that's now being dictated by things like math and matchup stats, it's just like how much does your manager actually do there? That was a big point of contention with the Yankees this past year. Is like, how much is Boone actually doing shit? Is that why they fired Girardi so they could get a guy more willing to just do what the front office tells them to do? And it's tough,
Mm-hmm.
So that's that. There is one other piece of baseball news that has been circulating a lot recently. The Houston Astros vice president. Did you see all this?
Yeah, what's his name? Taubman?
Yeah, Taubman.
I don't know what to make of it because I feel like I missed the initial. I feel like I missed the initial news that kind of set this all off. I feel like it was, if I'm remembering it correctly, he said some things talking about Ozuna and basically how great he was and how glad they got him in front of some female reporters, and that just they didn't take that very well. It was maybe something he said. Why don't you give me a little background?
Yeah, so basically what happened is there were some female reporters in the Astros clubhouse after they beat the Yankees to move on to the World Series. So it was their ALCS victory celebration in clubhouse celebration. And there were a few female reporters, at least one of them, wearing a purple domestic violence wristband. I forget what the name of the foundation is that employs the purple wristband to raise awareness for domestic violence, but she was wearing one of those, and the one of the Houston Astros executives, Brandon Taubman, started aggressively shouting at her about how great it was that we got Osuna. Thank God we got Osuna. And kind of rubbing. I guess he didn't like the fact that they were not even making a statement, just there, and also aware of domestic violence issues. And so he picked the player. And for anyone who's unaware, Roberto Osuna was suspended for 80 games last year for domestic violence. So there's a reason he picked that specific player, because it's not like Osuna did them like he did a fine job in the ALCS, but like that specific game, like he let up a game time top of the ninth home run that kept the Yankees in it for an inning longer than they should have been, or half inning longer than they should have been. So like,
I did see that in that game specifically, he was rated as the worst player to play in it for the Astros.
Yeah, like if anything, he should have been like, thank God we have Jose Altuve. Like,
right.
Thank God we took a chance on this little man who keeps doing great things for us.
People still call him Little Man.
Yeah, well, he is tiny. And so a bunch of reporters, because he said this to not just random women, which would still be inexcusable, but he said to female reporters, so they all just like wrote stories about it because no fucking shit. And then the Astros came out and said, no, that's not what happened. This is slander. This is libel. Like, it's really irresponsible journalism on the part of these women. And then even more people came out and said, no, we were there. Like, it was the ALCS victory celebration. There were so many reporters there. Like, they all were like, no, this absolutely happened. And you should not lie about this. And yet they did. And there's now like this, a bunch of reporters are like, there should be apologies issued. MLB should step in. Like, this is so inexcusable to just outright lie to the media like this. And it's become kind of a weird moment given the fact that the Astros are also in the World Series now. So it's been a weird time for Astros fans.
Yeah, I saw that he did put out an apology letter, but the big thing was at the end, he's like, well, if anyone was offended, I'm sorry. So it's like, I'm not sorry, but like, if you feel bad, sorry I said those things in front of you. Like, it's such like a half-assed, lame-ass excuse that just it comes off so poorly.
Oh yeah.
It's like one of those big things, like if you ever do like a public relations writing class or like a business writing class, they're like, yeah, don't ever do that because no one, like everyone sees right through it every time.
Yeah, it's not going to make you look any better.
And it didn't. He does not look good at all still. And the Astros in general don't look good in the way they handled this.
No, I'm shocked at the way that they handled this. I get. All right. So with the Osuna thing from the beginning, like it was really rough. It was really rough when they signed him. I don't know how many people listening to this remember, but like
Did they trade for him or did they sign him?
Traded for him.
Yeah. Didn't they send away like Ken Giles?
Yep, they traded Ken Giles to the Blue Jays because the Blue Jays were like, even when Osuna comes back, like we're not playing him. So they're like, you can trade for him if you want, but they're like, he's not like we do not want him wearing a Blue Jays uniform anymore, which is respectable. Right. And so the Astros took a ton of flack for actually trading for the guy while he was still being suspended for the assault, and a lot of people brushed it off where it's like, MLB gave him his suspension. Like, you have to give people a second chance. It's a baseball decision. We're trying to be neutral on like the whole legality or morality of the issue. And in some ways you can go like, it's fucking shitty, but I kind of get it. It's really fucking shitty, but like you can still say from the most cold-hearted perspective possible, well, he only was suspended for a certain amount. He is eligible to play. He makes the team better.
He did his time,
right.
Promises not to do it again.
Yeah. So you can kind of explain it away a little bit. But then in the wake of that, to have this happen, even though it was like 2 full ass years later, it's still so fucking 1 year.
Yeah.
1 year. It's still really fucking rough.
And it's one of those things where say what you will about, drug use, whether it's recreational or PEDs in sports. Domestic violence is just something that it has no place in sports. And one of the things that grinds my gears, if you will, about teams is some teams just don't care, like we see it with we saw it with the Bengals and Joe Mixon, we saw it with the Chiefs and Tyreek Hill, we see it now with the Astros. Granted, all of those situations are different. Tyreek Hill has actually gone, I will say, to give him a lot of credit, he's gone really far out of his own way to really support domestic violence in the wake of this, and he did a lot of counseling, and I think he's worked with like a couple different charities to help promote, the purple ribbon stuff and all that. So guys can learn, like people make mistakes and can come back from it. But at the end of the day, it's still something that's a culture issue. And if I was running a team, I don't know if that's something I'd ever really want to deal with. It's one of those one strike and you're out type of deals.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't. It's easy for us to sit here and say, I don't get why you'd hit a woman. Like, I don't get why you hit a woman. But at the same time, it's like, I don't get why teams tolerate other people doing it. Like, I get that cutting that dude might make your team marginally worse. But, like, don't you want to have integrity? Like, don't you want to feel good about yourself every now and then?
There's more to sports than just wins and championships.
Yeah. Yeah,
I know that's hard for a lot of guys who are, arguably fighting for their jobs to make sure they can bring these championships, but at what cost?
Yeah, 100%. I say we can leave it there.
I agree.
All right, so let's talk about some World Series stuff. So we're recording this on October 23rd, so we've only had the first World Series game played, so we are very anxious to see what happens tonight. So we're not going to talk too much about what's already happened since there'll be a full ass game played after we record this. So instead, Corwin, what I thought we could do is look at some all-time and single season postseason statistics.
Perfect.
So let's talk batting first. Let's see. I want to look at who has the highest career postseason batting average. And oh my God, are you not going to get this name at all?
Is it Mike Trout?
You had to play in more than one game for that to happen.
Before we go into this, there was a post on Reddit that was like, what if we do a second postseason where we take all of the best pitchers from this postseason and just put them up against Mike Trout to see what would happen if the Angels didn't keep holding him back from reaching the postseason? And that would be fantastic.
I kind of like that. Yeah, that'd be really fun. Yeah.
Just like, it wouldn't be serious in any way, like if they were to actually do it, but at the same time, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I would love to see that. All right. Anyway, I'm not even going to ask you who the fuck the career leader is in postseason batting average, because I don't know who this is. Bobby Brown?
No.
Yeah, no, he played for the Yankees from 1946 to 1954. He had won 4 World Series rings. What do you think his career batting average is?
In the postseason or
in
just
the postseason? Which for him is just the World Series, but yeah.
I don't know, probably 500 if it's the highest ever.
439.
Still pretty damn good.
It is still pretty good, but I was kind of in your boat. I kind of thought it would be over 500 because with such small sample sizes, like, I'm not saying hitting 500 would be easy, but like it's the easiest it's going to be.
Right, like one series, granted it's the World Series, so you're probably going to be up against some really great pitchers, but like the highest ever? Okay.
Yeah. Bobby Brown, who has a career 6.6 wins above replacement.
Did he go on to have a really great singing career?
No.
Different Bobby Brown?
Different Bobby Brown. Yeah, this is a white man.
Very different guy.
Yeah. Actually, this is interesting. So, highest single season postseason batting average. So that last one was career. What do you think that is?
Highest career postseason, like just in the postseason?
Yeah, so like one single postseason season.
I'm gonna go with 500 again, because why not?
So this is where we see what we were just talking about. 727.
Damn, who is that?
Again, if I gave you 10 million guesses, you'd never get it. Lloyd McClendon.
Oh, Lloyd McClendon, that baseball player.
Yeah, he played for the Pirates.
Ah, shit, I should know this one.
I'm not surprised you do, because he has his career, 1987 to 1994, and he has a career total WAR of negative 0.6.
Okay, so a guy who sucked normally and was gone before I was born. I will give myself a little slack on that one.
I would too. Yeah, so he played. So this happened in 1992. Was when he batted 727 in 16 plate appearances in the postseason.
It's the Pirates, so we know it wasn't the World Series.
I would have to doubt it. His regular season stats, he played in 84 games. He got 48 hits, 3 home runs, 1 triple, 20 RBI, an OPS of a cool 100, and nothing about his baseball reference page is impressive in the slightest.
Nope.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. Notable names on this list, Babe Ruth is third with a 625 in 1928, and Lou Gehrig is also on this list for 1928 at 545.
Yeah, those guys you would expect to be on this list.
Ooh, the most recent name, 2017.
Ooh,
he batted 571.
2017?
Yeah.
So that was the year Houston won it. I'm going to go with fucking Jose Altuve.
Not on the Astros.
Yeah. Darn. Who?
Hanley Ramirez.
Really?
Really, man, who is, I think, no longer in baseball.
No. Man, I feel like I would have remembered that.
Same. But yeah, no, that's him. There he is. He's standing there.
He's got that on his mantle to, along with a lot of money, keep him getting through the day without being in baseball anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll survive. Let's see who has the highest career slugging % in the postseason. And that is a man by the name of Colby Rasmus What a name.
Yikes. The Amish freak.
Yeah, Colby Rasmus. I'm shocked. I haven't heard this name in forever.
Right?
Is he still playing? No, he has no 2019
he's out.
stats.
Yeah, no, he retired.
He has the highest career slugging all time in the postseason.
That's insane.
By a lot, too, may I say. By a lot.
What is it?
It's 1,038.
Ooh.
Next highest is Jorge Soler at 781.
Like, that's not even OPS. That's just slugging percentage. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's
I have a strong feeling
nuts.
he's going to have the highest OPS all time, too.
All right, so what's more surprising, that Colby Rasmus has the highest slugging percent or that Jorge Soler is second?
I would say Colby Rasmus having the top one. At least Jorge Soler has had good seasons and is a really good player. Colby Rasmus was always kind of one of those fringe guys.
Yeah, no, you're right. Jorge Soler, as always. Jorge Soler did just hit nearly 50 home runs this year, so that's a good point.
Yeah.
Babe Ruth is number 5 on this list with a 744, and Lou Gehrig is 7th on this list with a 731. Oh, and Hank Aaron also on this list, 710.
Nice.
Listen to these plate appearances, and you'll very clearly hear when Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig's numbers come up. So I'll just start from number 1 down to number 10. 35 plate appearances, 41, 43, 88, 167, 66, 150, 49, 74, 46.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah. And that's
Who
just the World
Lou
Series.
Gehrig and fucking Babe Ruth would be really good at baseball.
So, highest single season slugging percent for the postseason. What do you think it is?
How recent is it? Oh, highest single season slugging?
Yeah.
In a single postseason?
Yes.
1,200?
You know what's crazy is that it's so far off because this is a stupid fucking number. 1727.
Holy sweet Jesus.
Yeah, 1928 Lou Gehrig. And 1928 Lou Gehrig has been all over this fucking thing. I need to look up his postseason batting because fuck, I got to see what this line was. All right, 1928. Okay. So he played in because just the World Series. 4 games. So it's a sweep. 17 plate appearances, 11 at-bats, 5 runs on 6 hits, 1 double, 0 triples, 4 home runs, 9 RBI for a 545 batting average, a 706 on base, a 1727 slugging, and a 2433 OPS.
Sweet Jesus.
And a win probability added of 99.
That's insane.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Wow. All right. That's really high. Babe Ruth is tied for second on this list, also his 1928 season. And man, if that doesn't illustrate to you why Murderer's Row was called Murderer's Row back then, fuck. God damn. His OPS was 2433.
That's really high.
That's yeah, dude, it's disgusting. Okay, let's jump straight over to OPS for a career.
Okay.
It's the same top 2. It's still Colby Rasmus and Jorge Soler.
I just don't understand this.
Colby Rasmus at a 1610 career OPS in the postseason, and Jorge Soler a 1269. Those are phenomenal numbers.
I'm all about it.
Best single season OPS in the postseason is still Lou Gehrig's 2433, followed immediately by Babe Ruth's 1928 season with 2022. Can you imagine having a 2022 OPS for any stretch of time and being the second best player on your team?
Could I imagine that? No, I can't imagine ever hitting a baseball in the major leagues.
That's fair. All right.
Just say.
Who do you think has played the most postseason games in their career?
The most postseason games in their career?
Yep.
Lou Gehrig, I guess.
No, because he's actually not even in the top 10 because he only had the World Series.
True. All right.
So these will be pretty modern players as a result.
The most, man, who has just been to a shit ton of World Series? I guess I'm gonna go with somebody from like the Giants. So like Buster Posey.
Nope.
No, because that's all postseason, I guess. Yeah. Who is it?
I'm actually a little bit surprised here, my friend, that you didn't get it. Derek Jeter.
Oh, that's such a better one. Damn.
Here's the top four, and I mean, you're gonna know all these names. I might as well just read the entire top 10. Derek Jeter, Jorge Posada, Bernie Williams are the top three. Like 3 out of 4 of the core 4. Well, I guess Bernie Williams isn't part of the core 4, but 2 out of 4 of the core 4. And Mariano Rivera is on this list at number 8. So 3 out of 4 of the core 4, with just missing Andy Pettitte, who I think has the most postseason innings pitched of all time. So he's still there. After that, it's David Justice, who also was on the Yankees for a spell.
David Justice, man.
Manny Ramirez, Tito Martinez, another Yankee, Yadi Molina. Number 8 is Mariano Rivera. Number 9 is Kenny Lofton, and number 10 is Chipper Jones.
All big name guys.
Yeah, and all relatively modern dudes. So Derek Jeter basically played an entire season of the postseason, just in postseason games.
Yeah, definitely. Something that I should have gotten for sure. But oh well.
Yeah, what can you do? So Derek Jeter also leads the list in at bats, and whatever. Anything you're? Oh, actually, no. I want to know who hit the most home runs, career home runs in the postseason.
In the postseason.
Oh, did you want to guess?
I mean, I guess maybe like Alex Rodriguez or something crazy. I don't know.
No, he is not here. Not in the top 10. Manny Ramirez, number 1.
Again, crazy.
29.
And granted, he did play for a good while.
Yeah, he did. And he was seemingly always in the playoffs with either the Indians or the Red Sox or the Dodgers. Always there.
Right.
I'll just read out this top 10 because these are all names you're going to know. Manny Ramirez, number 1 with 29. Bernie Williams with 22. Derek Jeter with 20. Albert Pujols with 19. A tie between Reggie Jackson and Mickey Mantle with 18. A tie between David Ortiz, Jim Thome, and Nelson Cruz with 17. And then at number 10 is Carlos Beltran with 16. Most in one postseason, a 3-way tie between Nelson Cruz, Carlos Beltran, and Barry Bonds. That each hit 8.
All right. That actually, Barry Bonds probably would have been a good pick just because, it's Barry Bonds.
Yeah, but his problem was that his teams just like never went to the postseason.
Right.
Anything else you'd like to hear from batting?
From batting, who has the most strikeouts in the World Series or postseason?
Oh, this makes a lot of sense. It's the exact same list of who's been to the postseason the most.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, number 1, Derek Jeter. Number 2, Jorge Posada. Number 3, Manny Ramirez. Number 4, like it's the same top 10 list. So
looking at these numbers, is Derek Jeter the worst player to ever play in the postseason because he has so many strikeouts?
Well, we can only surmise that yes, he in fact is.
Statistics, man.
So actually, we'll do this as the last one for batting, since we touched on this for our World Series preview. Win probability added in the postseason. Okay. Who do you think has the most for their career?
Win probability added, probably Derek Jeter.
No, Derek Jeter not in the top 10.
Interesting.
But you 100% know who this is.
Lay it on me then.
David Ortiz.
There you go. Man, I should know these things.
He hit 3.2. Number 2, Albert Pujols, 2.9. Number 3, Justin Turner at 2.8. And then we have Lance Berkman, Pete Rose, Lou Gehrig, Carlos Beltran, Eric Hosmer, David Freese, and Miguel Cabrera.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, that's an interesting list. The most all-time in one season is a tie between David Freese and David Ortiz, each with 1.9.
Good shit right there.
Yeah. All right, shall we move this over to pitching?
Yes.
All right, Corwin, who has the best ERA in postseason history?
Career? Let's go with like Randy Johnson or something.
Nope, not in the top 10.
Fuck. Clayton Kershaw?
Oh, God, no. Come on. Get out of here.
I don't know.
I'm upset, my friend. Mariano Rivera.
Oh, I forgot relievers are a thing. God damn it.
And what's funny is that of all the players in this top 10, Mariano has by far the most innings.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
So Mariano's career ERA in the postseason is 0.7.
Holy shit.
Yeah, followed by a bunch of old-ass names I don't know and a few I do. Number 2 is Harry Brechin? Harry Brechin, who played for St. Louis, 42 career WAR, so he was pretty good. He played from 1940 to 1953. Never heard his name before, but good for him. Jeremy Affeldt. Number 4 is Babe Ruth, actually. 5, Sherry Smith. 6, Sandy Koufax, tied with Andrew Miller. 8 is Christy Mathewson. 9 is Monte Pearson. And then 10 is Steven Strasburg.
All right.
Yeah. Their innings totals, there are only 2 pitchers on this list who threw over 100 innings in the postseason. Christy Mathewson threw 101.2 innings in the postseason, which is so fucking much, but that's just as a result of his time period. Mariano Rivera, 141.
Damn.
Yeah. The next highest after Christy Mathewson, just to illustrate, so number 3 for innings pitched is Sandy Koufax with 57. So Mo threw over 2.5 times that.
That's absolutely insane.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. Single season ERA isn't that interesting because there's a bunch of dudes that have 0, which is impressive, I guess, but there's also like 10 dudes all tied for first place with 0 earned runs allowed in the postseason. So I don't really care about that. I do care about, though, or I am interested in, I should say, career postseason wins as a pitcher, because we could see some movement on this. Who do you think has first?
In career postseason wins?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't know. All time?
All time.
I don't know.
Andy Pettitte.
There you go. All these things make a lot of sense when you tell them to me, but like, I don't think I'm going to be able to get any of these.
So Andy Pettitte has the most. He has 19. Second place is John Smoltz with 15. And then third place is a tie between Tom Glavine with 14 and Justin Verlander with 14. So if Justin Verlander, who I guess is pitching tonight, were to win, like, I guess 2 more starts, put him at 16 for second most. And maybe if they make it, if he plays again next season, which I imagine he would be, he might be able to break it next season. If not, 1 more after that, if all things go well. But yeah, ain't that some shit?
Where's Mad Bum on this?
Madison Bumgarner, I don't see him in the top 10. That's all I have in front.
That's fair.
Yeah. The fewest number of wins in the top 10 is a tie with 10. It's a 5-way tie between Whitey Ford, Dave Stewart, Dave Wells, Chris Carpenter, and CC Sabathia.
CC Sabathia, kind of good at baseball.
He has been known to be. Yeah. All right. So there's a lot of pitching stats, and they vary in what we care about. So, Corwin, why don't you just give me a few pitching stats you want to hear about for the postseason? I can tell you who leads in those categories.
Strikeout rate.
All right. Let's find strikeout rate. I have strikeouts per 9. That work for you?
That'll work.
All right. The career leader in strikeouts per 9. He is an active player who was in this postseason.
An active player, Justin Verlander?
Not Justin Verlander. Not a starter.
Not a starter. So we're looking at a reliever. Are we talking an older guy or a younger guy?
Middle, maybe somewhere approaching the older side.
Ah, shit. This is going to be hard.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know.
Played for the Yankees.
Everyone plays for the Yankees.
Still plays for the Yankees because he's active, I should say.
Andrew Miller?
No, Andrew Miller does not still play for the Yankees.
That wouldn't work.
Although he is number 3 on this list.
I don't know. Who?
Aroldis Chapman.
There you go.
Yeah, his strikeout per 9 in the postseason for his career is 13.255.
Not too shabby.
Yeah. Also on this list, Wade Davis, Andrew Miller, Kenley Jansen, Steven Strasburg, Brad Lidge, Sterling Hitchcock, Francisco Rodriguez, Jake Arrieta, and Ryan Madsen.
All right. I don't know some of those guys, but
same. The single season strikeout per 9 leader is Chris Sale in 2018. 14.087.
Absolutely filthy.
Yeah.
God, he was so good last year.
You know what's interesting is that single season, I don't see in the top 10 anywhere Aroldis Chapman. And it's weird because his career is 13.26, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you'd assume that somewhere in there he needs to have, you need to have a season over that, or at least around that, because that's your average.
Right.
And yet, the lowest is actually current. It's 2019 Garrett Cole at 12.7, and Aroldis Chapman's not on the single season list, which is weird, right?
That's got to be an error of some kind.
I'm wondering if it's an innings thing. Like he just never had enough innings in one postseason to, I don't know what qualify in quotes would look like, but maybe that's it. We have to have a certain amount of innings for the postseason to, again, quote unquote, qualify. Yeah, because you know what? Looking at this list, almost all of these guys are starters.
Really?
Yeah, it's Chris Sale, then Andrew Miller from 2016, Max Scherzer, Steven Strasburg.
Andrew Miller, he wasn't a starter.
No, but he was always a bulk pitcher, so he always threw multiple innings.
Yeah, fair enough.
Steven Strasburg, Francisco Rodriguez, Max Scherzer again, Sterling Hitchcock, Jake Arrieta, Mike Mussina, Garrett Cole, and almost all of those guys are starters. So that's got to be it.
All right.
Give me another pitching stat you want to hear about.
What kind of, how in depth do these stats get?
Pick one. I'll see if it's here. I have a bunch of them.
Man, all right, you pick one. I got to think of one.
All right, let's do whip.
I like whip. I also like the nene.
I hate you. All right. Career. We talked about him today. Not a Yankee. Relief pitcher.
For
active.
Whip, relief pitcher. Yankee, not active, you said?
Not a Yankee and active. You had it backwards.
Not a Yankee and active. And we talked about him today?
We did. In depth.
Ah, shit. Who did we talk about in depth today? Oh, Roberto Osuna?
Yep.
Yeah.
Roberto Osuna, 0.677.
Look at you, Corwin. You have some memory on you.
Yeah. So it's Roberto Osuna, Jeremy Affeldt, Monte Pearson, Roy Halladay. Cool. Mariano Rivera, Jim Lonborg, Masahiro Tanaka, Kenley Jansen, Sandy Koufax, and Garrett Cole.
Man, I love how good Garrett Cole's doing. Can't wait to get him back on the Pirates.
That requires money.
God.
Right. Single season whip. You can
season whip.
I want you to either guess the person who has it or what it is.
All right. I will guess both. I'm going to say that a single season whip of 0 by none other than
0?
Andrew Miller. Yeah, I don't know. Fine. 0.4 by Andrew Miller.
Andrew Miller has no seasons in the top 10.
Shit.
The whip, you were really close. It's 0.438, which is just so fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
And it is 2003 Mariano Rivera.
Yeah, Mariano would have been a good guess, but man, I was really hoping someone at some point just was so fucking filthy that he was perfect in like 4 appearances and qualified.
Yeah.
Alas.
So 16 innings pitched for Mariano's 2003 campaign, which means he allowed 8 base runners 7 base runners the whole postseason,
which is nuts.
That's just fucking stupid, man.
Nuts.
So fucking stupid.
Meanwhile, Garrett Cole let up double that yesterday. He didn't, but it felt like he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you come up with one you want to hear about?
Yeah, quality starts.
Ooh, let's see if that's kept track of. I didn't know. I didn't look for it. I don't have quality starts.
Damn.
I have complete games.
That'll work.
All right.
I can't imagine there's been that many.
How many do you think that the career leader had?
5.
Double it.
10. Wow.
Christy Mathewson.
I don't know who that is.
He is one of the original greatest baseball players of all time.
So Mike Trout before Mike Trout. Got it.
He was a pitcher. He played from 1900 to 1916.
I picked up on the fact that he was a pitcher, but thank you.
Yeah. It's okay. He has 103.9 WAR.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he has a 2-time Triple Crown winner, 5-time ERA title, and has a World Series. And like I said, he's just like, if you look at his baseball reference page, there's so much black ink. It's fucking nuts. Black ink, for anyone unaware, is when, like, if you go to baseball reference and you see bolded numbers, that means that you led the league in something. That's used for determining Hall of Fame eligibility, or Hall of Fame likelihood of getting in, I should say. And so Christy Mathewson's baseball reference page is loaded with black ink. He was really fucking good. Even in an era at which a lot of these stats were more common, like having shutouts in complete games were more common, he still was one of the best at doing them. So not a huge surprise given the era that he leads this list. Names Corwin would know. Tied for number 3, Bob Gibson with 8. Also cool considering this is a shorter postseason. Number 5, Whitey Ford, Yankee pitcher.
Pretty good at baseball.
And number 6, I'm iffy on whether you would know him, but he's a really famous pitcher, Jim Palmer.
The name sounds extremely familiar, but I don't think I could get a team.
He was on the Baltimore Orioles. He was their ace for like a long ass time in like the 60s, 70s. Oh, and also the 80s apparently. Okay. 3 Cy Young wins, 3 World Series wins, 2 ERA titles, 6-time All-Star, 4-time Gold Glove, and the Hall of Fame was 68.4 WAR.
Looking up his Wikipedia page, he has been married to 2 different women named Susan. So there you go.
Leads the league in Susans per 9.
Oh, God.
All right, I also have win probability added here. Do you want to hear it as we close out pitching, or is there anything else you want to hear before we get to that?
No, that's a great way to close it out. Okay.
You can choose, do you want to give player and or total win probability added for pitcher career?
I bet it's Mariano Rivera.
It is Mariano. It's such a safe bet. It is Mariano Rivera.
It really is. Now that I've picked up on, the pattern for this game, I think I'm going to do real good on the test.
What do you think?
Mariano Rivera in everything.
You wouldn't be wrong. What do you think it is? What do you think his career win probability added was?
To be fair, I don't think I would know a baseline win probability average off the top of my head.
Well, I'll give you the ones just as a refresher. The career win probability added for a batter was David Ortiz's 3.2.
Then I'm going to say Mariano was at 4.4.
11.7.
Sweet fucking Christ. What?
Yeah. And it's not like it gets crazy high, because number 2 is Curt Schilling with 4.1, which is way closer to the David Ortiz number of 3.2. Yeah, 11.7. And
Curt Schilling is a well-known, fantastic postseason pitcher.
Oh, yeah. Same with John Smoltz, who's down there. Andy Pettit's down on this list. Madison Bumgarner has 2.7. Yeah, Mariano Rivera.
I'm sorry, am I taking crazy pills?
Yeah, man. Mariano Rivera. Real fucking good.
Sweet Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking disgusting, isn't it?
Do you have a Mariano Rivera jersey, Josh? I feel like you definitely do.
I actually don't. I don't have. The only non-catcher Yankees jersey I have is a Jeter away jersey.
Well, I know what I'm getting you for Christmas.
Yeah, Mariano Rivera. Real fucking good. What do you think the single season total or all-time record is? Not held by Mariano Rivera. I will put that out there.
I'm assuming it's going to be something under 11.
Yeah. Single season. So yeah.
I don't know. 1.3.
2.1 by Kurt Schilling in 01.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, number 2 is Madison Bumgarner's 2014 campaign with 1.7.
That'll help. Yeah,
which also makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Mariano Rivera is on this list 3 times in the top 10. The number 6 overall season with his 2000 campaign at 1.5. His 2003 campaign at 1.4, which was tied with his 1999 campaign, also at 1.4. Yeah,
impressive shit.
It's just so much. It's just beautiful.
Impressive.
You know what's crazy is that Kurt Schilling leads this list with his 2.1 win probability added in 2001 in 48.1 innings pitched, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mariano Rivera amassed 1.5 in 2000 in 15.2 innings pitched.
That's insane.
So if you gave him, multiplied his numbers by 3, which again you can't do, but whatever, he would blow Kurt Schilling out the fuck. His win probability added per inning pitched is probably enormous. But, oh well. Yeah. Oh well. God. Gotta love Mo.
Fucking well. Yeah, for real.
I thought we could sprint this real quick just because it doesn't matter that much, but I also have the all-time World Series batting and pitching leaders, so I figured we could just pick and choose.
Yeah, sure.
I'll just do like number 1 overalls. Highest career batting average in the World Series is someone by the name of Phil Gardner.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know who a Pirate. Yeah. He played for a bunch of teams, not just a Pirate. His Baseball Reference picture is just of him as a Pirate. Completely unremarkable as a player. Good, not great. I'll put it that way. Single season Billy Hatcher in the 1990 World Series batted .750, which is stupid. Career on base percentage in the World Series is led by Barry Bonds. Career slugging percent in the World Series is held by Barry Bonds. Career OPS in the World Series is held by Barry Bonds.
Do you think Barry Bonds is good at baseball?
Yeah, he's trying to be. A few more years, he might be.
Ooh, he's trying.
Most career games played in the World Series. Who do you think it is?
Most career, Lou Gehrig?
Not Lou Gehrig. It is a Yankee, though. Babe Ruth is number 10 on this list.
Fine, Mariano Rivera, who I doubt it will be.
No, he's not on this. This is batting, so he definitely would be on this list.
I don't know. He could be the DH every now and again.
Who has the most World Series rings as a player?
I feel like this is like general trivia that I should know off the top of my head, but I don't.
Yogi Berra.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be a Yankee for sure. So
yeah, Yogi Berra. How many do you think he has? If just to continue the trivia.
8.
10.
Fuck.
10.
Yeah, it's like being a member of like UCLA basketball back in the day, or like the Boston Celtics. It's like, yeah, like the people with the most rings, like the top 10 or like 9 of them are all Boston Celtics players.
Yeah, that's not surprising at all. He also has 3 more rings as a coach or manager, so he in total has 13 World Series rings. It's so many.
Jesus Christ!
So he
can't even fit them all in 2 hands. He's got to throw some on his toes.
Yeah, he puts the other 3 on his dick.
What if he just puts them all on a chain and wears them around his neck, going out to bars to like pick up chicks?
That'd be a pretty fucking baller move.
Yeah, that guy drives a BMW. I've won 13 World Series. Let's go.
So he obviously leads the all-time list in games played in the World Series with 75.
Yikes.
75. He played like almost half a season of just World Series games.
What are his career numbers of the World Series? Because that's like a pretty decent sample size to be getting some good numbers from that.
Let me find it. So his postseason batting, all of which is just the World Series, because again, there's nothing else. So in the World Series, he batted lifetime 274, 359, 452. Good for an OPS of 811.
Not too shabby.
Not shabby at all. That's pretty fucking good. And he has 1, 2, 3, 4 different 1,000 or greater OPS seasons in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is he good at baseball?
He was something. Yeah. All right. So now this I'm curious about because that's right. So the World Series used to be 9 games instead of 7, like way back in the day. So there's a whole bunch of ties for most World Series games played in one season at 8. And I was like, how? And then I remembered it used to be 9 games. So there's that. Who hit the most home runs in the World Series? Careers Mickey Mantle with 18. And then single season is a tie between Reggie Jackson, Chase Utley, and George Springer with 5.
George Springer making an appearance. I like it.
Most win probability added in their career in the World Series is Lou Gehrig at 2.3. And in one single World Series, it is Willie Atkins at 1.2.
Very cool.
And let's jump over to pitching for a spell. Do the same thing. These are all World Series stats only. Oh, Corwin, you should definitely get this one right. Who has the lowest? Nope. Who has the lowest ERA in the World Series career?
That's not Mariano Rivera.
Not Mariano Rivera.
Andrew Miller.
No.
Shit.
He won MVP.
Fuck. What?
We talked about it.
Chris Sale.
No.
Fuck. Oh god, I'm gonna look so stupid in this episode. One
Madison
MVP.
Bumgarner.
Oh yeah, okay. That would have been my next guess.
0.25.
Man, I am gonna look real stupid in this episode.
What can you do? I'm asking a lot of these on the spot.
Have I answered any of these correctly where the answer was not Mariano Rivera?
Moving on. Whitey Ford has the most career pitcher wins in the World Series with 10, which is so fucking many. That might be an unbreakable record.
Wow, what was it again?
10 World Series wins as a pitcher.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, the most recent pitcher in this top 10 list is Andy Pettitte, and he only has 5.
What does Bad Bub got?
He's not even on the list.
He probably has like 4 or something.
Yeah, 3 or 4 is probably a good bet. It's got to be at least 4. It's got to be 4.
Yeah.
Let's see. Career leader in WHIP is Madison Bumgarner with 5.28. The best single season WHIP in the World Series is Don Larson's 1956 World Series, which makes sense because he threw a perfect game.
He has 4 wins, Madison Bumgarner, 2 of which came as a starter.
Oh yeah, he probably because I think he
only
closed
started.
out.
He's only started 2 games in the World Series.
It feels like there should be more, but oh well.
Yeah. He has a World Series ERA of 0.6.
Oh, mine shows it has a career postseason ERA 0.25.
Yeah, that's all postseason. This is just the World Series.
No, this should be World Series. Career World Series ERA of 0.25.
This one has 0.6. I'm on Baseball Almanac, so I don't know.
Baseball Almanac can suck Alma Dick.
He's played in 15 innings. Oh, that's weird. What? In 2014, it has him not pitching a single inning.
That's not possible. In 2014, he won World Series MVP.
Yeah, he has 2 appearances, 2 wins, an ERA of infinite, 1 save, 0 innings pitched.
What website is this?
Baseball Almanac.
It's fucking weird.
Yeah, I kind of figured this would have been a pretty trustworthy site.
Clearly
but I guess not. Top result on Google. That should show you something right there.
But he does have 4 World Series wins.
Yes. Not rings, just wins.
Yes, wins. Just pitcher wins.
Yeah.
Let's see. So we just did WHIP, strikeouts per 9. The career leader in the World Series is Orlando Hernandez, 11.3. Single season World Series was Roger Clemens' 2001 campaign of 12.8. Most career games played in the World Series there, Corwin, as a pitcher?
12.
Oh, it's so many more than that. But who do you think it is?
1,200. I don't know. Mariano Rivera.
Mariano Rivera.
There we go.
24.
Damn.
That's a lot.
Yeah. For some reason, I was thinking games started.
Oh, that would make more sense.
Yeah.
Mariano Rivera also the career leader in postseason saves, World Series saves, which is not a surprise. He has 11 of them. Most innings pitched in the World Series is Whitey Ford with 146. Most strikeouts period in the World Series is Whitey Ford with 94. Jesus. Although in one single World Series, it's Bob Gibson in 1968 with 35, followed by Bob Gibson in 1964 with 31, followed by not Bob Gibson.
Fuck.
No,
God
Bob
damn,
Gibson's
another one wrong.
He does appear at number 5 though in his 1967 campaign. Bob Gibson really fucking good at baseball. Win probability added for their career as a pitcher in the World Series. It's not Mariano Rivera. You will never get this person. You want to hear it?
Yes.
All right. It is Art Neff.
Him.
Yeah, Art Neff, who two-time World Series winner. He played from 1915 to 1929. His career started with the Boston Braves, a team that does not exist well, I guess it does exist. It's just not in Boston anymore. Yeah. His career win probability added in the World Series is 2.7. After that, it's Red Ruffing, and then after that, it's Mariano Rivera at 2.4. Red Ruffing, who played from 1924 to 1947. So, a lot of weird names here.
Yeah, but baseball really attracts the just ridiculous names.
Yeah, for reference, one of my favorite baseball names is here at number 7 on the career World Series win probability added list. Raleigh Fingers.
I love him.
Love him so much. His mustache is legendary.
The Jaguars are doing a best mustache contest, like one of those brackets, because Gardner Minshew and their owner Shad Khan. Raleigh Fingers was on there.
Oh, that's awesome.
They put him up against the owner of the team hosting the contest, so he didn't win. But
Shocking.
Yeah, I call bias.
Just a little bit.
Just a tad.
Single season World Series win probability added leader is 1921's Waite Hoyt with 1.6. After that, it's a big old tie between Christy Mathewson, 1905, Lou Burdett in 1957, Jack Morris in 1991, Stan Kovelsky in 1920, Madison Bumgarner in 2014, and Herb Pennock in 1926, all of them with 1.3.
All very impressive.
Certainly so. Anything else you'd care to hear from this list of World Series pitcher stats there, Corwin?
No, I can't say that I do.
Oh, I read a lot of numbers at y'all folks today, so
yes, you did.
I think I'm ready to hang this up. You got anything else you want to say?
I have one thing that I saw on Twitter earlier that I want to ask you. So I have the top or the bottom 5 in worst passer rating red zone passer rating. Jesus, in this season in the NFL. I want you to try and guess who the bottom 5 would be.
Did they all start the season on the team that they're like? Were they all opening day starters?
They were all opening day starters. All of them still starters.
Okay. Sam Darnold.
Not on the list.
Oh, thank God. Okay. Jameis Winston?
Jameis Winston, not on the list.
Oh, Kirk Cousins.
Also not on the list.
Wow. Okay. Jesus. I'll start naming good quarterbacks now. Tom Brady.
5th worst.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. The next 4 you should be able to get if you really think about who the worst quarterbacks in the NFL this year are.
Okay, that puts a lot of pressure on me. Let's see if I can get this shit right now.
I think you should.
Joe Flacco
should be able to get 2 of them. No, Joe Flacco, not quite on this list.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield dead last with a
Ooh.
35.3.
Ooh,
Brady
Jesus.
fifth last has an 81.4. Last has a 35.3.
Well, that's quite illustrative.
Yeah.
So does this mean that neither of the Miami starters are there, or is Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Ryan Fitzpatrick is fourth worst with a
Okay.
78.8.
Case Keenum?
No. Do you want me just to give you the last two?
That's
Or do you
only
want to
two.
keep going for him?
I do want to keep guessing, but at this point,
All
just
right,
tell me.
one more guess. I'll give you that.
All right, one more guess. The fucking guy from Buffalo.
Josh Allen, not quite. It is
Okay.
Andy Dalton at third worst with a 73, and Mitchell Trubisky with a 50.3.
Okay.
Yeah, so Baker and Trubisky, 2 top 3 picks. Really bad. Just not great this year. I just thought that was a fun one.
Those were both top 2 picks.
Oh, right. The Bears traded up from 3 to 2 to get Trubisky. Yeah. I read a really good article about how basically the Bears are fucked because they're not going to be able to fix Trubisky. They're not going to be able to get a guy to replace Trubisky, and it's all just going to result in everyone being fired.
What if who's a team that sucks? What if the Titans cut Mariota for some reason, and then the Bears picked him up?
I would take Mariota over Trubisky right now. And the one that they talked about was the Jaguars trading Nick Foles.
Okay.
Because they have Gardner Minshew. He's so young and so cheap. He's pretty much their guy of the future. They definitely want to get rid of Nick Foles because of how much that cap hit is basically destroying them if he's their backup for the future.
Right.
The only problem is, why would the Bears want that cap hit?
Fair enough.
Partially to save their job, but at the same time, it'll be interesting.
There.
I don't know. No. Anything else you want to cover today? Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, no, nothing else for me. I think I'm good.
All right. That works for me too.
All right. Then if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can do so at JuicingPod. If you want to hit us up via email, you can do so at juicethenumbers@gmail.com. And if you want to find show notes, you can do so at juicethenumbers.wixsite.com/website or juicethenumbers.com. And until Monday, I want to go.
Goodbye.